Well, having my first cup of coffee today. I'm a little sick, so there may be times when I pause the video to blow my nose and all that other stuff because I don't think you guys really want to see that. But that'll be all right. It's not that bad actually. Hold on a second. Let me. All right. So be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Tacoma may be about to approve shipping containers for like residential use and storage use. Here's why this is an important thing. I've had people ask about, well, I'd like to build a shipping container home. What's the regulation on it? And to be honest with you, Tacoma is kind of far behind on a lot of things. But especially something like this where you can use housing. On the thumbprint or the thumbnail, you see what can happen with shipping containers. Those are all shipping containers. And of course it's in Europe. I forget exactly where, but I'll put it on the screen there. And they not only have a whole village where these shipping containers are used. They're 40-foot long shipping containers. They're about 8 feet wide, 8.5 feet wide. Some are 8.5 feet tall, sometimes 9 feet. And they stack 5 on top of each other, and they're end to end. So some of them are about 80 feet wide. So these are whole buildings, right? And so they built a whole village of grocery stores created out of the shipping containers, etc. And the reason why I think this is a great move for Tacoma is because not only can it tackle some of the housing issues that we do have, but it also opens the door for retail using shipping containers, right? One of the big issues is the fact that Tacoma does not have a lot of spaces for micro retailers, right? This is one of those things that I'll keep banging that drum until someone finally gets tired of hearing the noise. But we don't have enough micro retailing. By the way, be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. We don't have enough of that. And so as a result, you have people who have to go to certain places to actually rent a space. And those spaces are not really, they don't have a good reputation, right? Bad management, etc. So it puts us in a bind because a lot of smaller retailers or small retail companies or businesses, they cannot afford the current rents that are currently in Tacoma. This is not shock. One of the reasons why I created Energize Tacoma was because there's such a lack of common sense things. It just is. Some of this is due to various different reasons. Some of it is there's a lot of red tape that's not even, it shouldn't be. I've always joked and said Tacoma is a city that loves its permits. It does. It really, really, really loves its permits. You got to get a permit for everything. And so stuff like that slows down the progress of what could be, only because these permits are just a way to basically get money. They don't really do much of anything. It's just saying, okay, give us money just because. If that's the case, every business should just kind of check to all the police, the fire, the city every year and be done with it, right? But it doesn't work that way. So you have all these stacked permits that you have to deal with. And then you have to deal with whatever laws or rules or lack thereof that the city may have, right? And so Tacoma is at this weird growth period where, I've said this before, and somewhere I read where if you're a city of 250,000 or greater, you're considered to be a big city or a major city. The two cities in the state of Washington that's on that cusp are Spokane, which is currently the second largest city, and then right below that is Tacoma. Tacoma's got a few thousand less. If you really did the census today, it would be interesting to see where Tacoma is. But I'm sure in the next couple of years, Tacoma will easily pass Spokane. Regardless, both cities are really nipping away at that major city status. The difference is Spokane has a lot of land to build and develop. It's not nearly as dense as Tacoma. Tacoma is really, really dense compared to cities much bigger than what it is. If you look at cities like Columbus, Ohio, Indianapolis, Jacksonville, Florida, you name it, Tacoma is by far more dense, right? Because of that, you have to be very creative in terms of what types of structures you can do. If you look at Seattle, they've taken great developers have been very unique in terms of what they do. So they'll take the tiniest piece of land and they're building something on it. And usually it's multi-level type stuff. Tacoma, on the other hand, we build big boxy stuff. This would be our mid-rise building. You'll see a lot of stuff this is my scooter thing for Noelle and my scooter. But you'll see a lot of buildings that look like this. You don't see a lot of buildings that look like this. Right? You just don't. And as a result, it gobbles and gobbles and gobbles and gobbles more and more land downtown. And there's not this push to say build up. Not out, up. We don't have a large, vast amount of land. Eventually, it's going to come to the point where stuff has to be torn down in order to accommodate what's going to happen. We're still growing. That's not going to change. We're still growing. So a project like this, while shipping container construction is not cheaper by too much than just regular construction, it can be a whole lot faster. You're seeing a lot of buildings, some in Tacoma, but a lot, for example, in Tacoma. UWT, they're building a building that's cross-laminate timber, CLT. CLT structures are built much faster than traditional construction. So it saves on money and everything. It's just a better product. In Seattle, they've been doing that, right? There's a pretty decent height building that they're building there. In brewery blocks, they've done that, and they're going to continue to do that. So that's another option, but still, it is a lot of construction. Shipping containers, you have the outside, and we're in a port city. Now, if Albuquerque, New Mexico can do it, and they have malls made out of shipping containers, why can't we do it? You see what I'm saying? Like if you go to Las Vegas, I don't know the name of that shipping container. If I sound nasally, I'm sorry. There's nothing to do about it. But there's a shipping container mall right in downtown Vegas, right? It makes a lot of sense. They even have some residential, it looks like, up above. I'm not sure. I don't know if I put that video up when I was in Vegas or not, because I have a lot of videos. I still didn't put the Meow Wolf video up. I don't know why I haven't done that, but it's a fairly long video. I haven't even put that one up yet. Eventually I will get around to it. But it makes sense, because now you have a shopping center that is mainly filled with mom and pop businesses. Hold on one second. Right? So in Vegas, you have that. In Albuquerque, you have the Green Jeans Farmery, which Noelle went to. I think she may have done a video on that and put it on YouTube. But they're doing it again. Now the developer there is doing more stuff in that arena. Why? Because you're taking up he took a weird angled lot and put Green Jeans Farmery on it. Brings down a lot of different eateries that can really cater to that. Tacoma, on the other hand, I know that the initial plan is to approve it for storage, because some people want them for storage, and then housing. I think that's great. I think that opens the door for retail. If you find Tacoma is, you got to take a tiny step forward, and then if there's some bite, if there's a nibble, then people are like, well, we'll wait and see what happens. And then you can go a little bit further, Unlike other cities that say, look, let's take a look at shipping containers as a possible option for housing or retail. And then they explore it, boom, they do it. It's not how it works in Tacoma. It's a very micro step type approach. The great thing is that we had someone with the guts to actually push it forward, Councilmember Christina Walker, to push this forward, and whoever else. I apologize if I leave anyone out, but I know that she was one of the people that was pushing for this. And not only is this a sustainability issue, which helps because these things end up in the ocean. I mean, they're a lot of times these shipping containers are no longer viable after a certain point when we're talking about cargo. But when we're talking about in a fixed position, they're strong. They can handle the huge rocking and bouncing on the ocean with several tons of product in them. They are able to handle the sea spray. So these are great options. Now, again, it's still going to cost a lot of money to build a structure using shipping containers, but the build time process is by far faster. You're taking a crane, you're just dropping, it's like Legos. It's really quick. Even in Maine, there is a retail development that there's a developer. He put down, I think, 5 shipping containers that are 40 feet long. And then at the back, he put another shipping container long ways. So if you look at it, the shipping containers are all laid out this way, long ways. So this is the store. Well, let me turn this around in case that has, okay. I don't want you guys seeing stuff that you don't need to see. The shipping container is, the front end is right here. The sign sits on top. Next to it is another and another and another. And in the back is another shipping container that's long ways. Because again, remember, the shipping container is about 8 feet wide. 8 times 5 different shipping containers is 40 feet. You lay one long ways, guess what? It all fits. And the one that's laying long ways is used for bathrooms. Very smart. And so what they've done is create a small micro shopping center with a few parking spaces. Businesses can come in there. They're not locked into some, 5-year deal. They're locked into basically month to month. Now this is in, I don't want to say, I think it might be Portland, Maine. I'm not sure. It's somewhere, right? But if they can do it, why can't we do it? It makes no sense. But it seems like that's getting more and more steam, and that's a good thing. Now, in Tacoma's case, downtown really is okay when it comes to restaurants, right? Now, I know people are saying, I own Energize Tacoma. Energize Tacoma is basically set up to fix and bring energy, fix the issues that we have, some of the issues, and bring energy to our city core, right? That's the whole principle of it. One of the big pieces of what I'm doing is bringing food trucks. Again, I consider them micro businesses into the heart of downtown Tacoma. Why? Because it is somewhat of a food desert. Yes, we have a lot of restaurants, or we're getting more. Not a lot, we're getting more. The problem with that is it's your traditional old school thing. Another issue with Tacoma is there's a lot of old thinking. You have a lot of people that say, well, we used to do it this way, or, back in the day we tried this and it never worked. Well, that wasn't the year 2022. That was the year 20, whatever it was, or 19, whatever it was. It wasn't the year 2022. Tacoma's not the same place. And the reason why I had pushed very hard for more retail development along downtown is because there is such a massive need for affordable retail. And finding a developer or a landlord to really get on board is very difficult. And then there's certain issues in terms of the city, there's certain rigidity in terms of just views and policies that it makes it very difficult. It's a difficult environment. So if you're a small business trying to locate in downtown Tacoma, you have to be very well financed at the current state. Very well financed. And that's not going to be the case for most. Downtown is set up for, in the past, it was set up for mom and pops. right? In the 70s and 60s and 50s, perfect. It went through hell in the 90s, and after that, it's become a place where it was a buyer's dream. People buying up everything down there, right? Just sitting on it. Now, it's still a buyer's dream because a lot of businesses are buying stuff, but these are companies that have a lot of money. These aren't your average, everyday folk. And so now, if you wanted to lease a space, it's expensive. If I'm going to get charged Seattle prices, I'll just go to Seattle, a bigger, busier market than Tacoma. Getting landlords out of that mindset is challenging. So the best way to change the city's mind, landlords' minds, those who are really doing things within the city, the only way to change their mind is money, A, and to just do it, right? That's why I created Energize Tacoma, was because I can't jump through all of these hoops and red tape and all of this. Well, you can do this, but you can't do that. And you got to check with this person first. You got to do, and it's like, but all of these are going to be opinions. It's not something that's required. It's just, this is what we are used to. And we're too far along as a city now to go back to that. That may work in places like Olympia or smaller cities. Tacoma today, that does not work. People are begging for more. So, and just the response I've gotten from various different big entities that I never thought I would speak to about this, I'm glad I am. I'm happy to. It shows that there's such a demand, and we're lacking it. And these are people who have the ability to build retail and everything else, and they're still, and they have space. They have their own, they have infrastructure. But still, because there's not the proper balance of, very affordable places to eat and quick and fast versus, tablecloth and sitting down and dressing up in your best, we don't have that. We have a lot of really expensive places. We have some that are kind of in the middle. But when it comes down to the single dollar or the double dollar or even the triple dollar to an extent, we don't have a lot of that in downtown Tacoma. And you have a campus of UWT that students are not going to go to any of the restaurants downtown in mass because they don't want to pay $8, $9, $10 for just one tiny food item. It's just common sense. They can't afford to do that. So I think that being an advocate for small businesses, which I am, also helps everyone else who can't afford and don't have the time to sit down in a restaurant, go in. How many people are going to sit, are you wanting to sit down with? It's just me. You go in, you sit down, somebody is going to come up to you, hopefully, talk to you for a little bit. You order your thing, they're going to be doing their thing, because running a restaurant is very challenging. It requires a lot. So the workers are busy doing a lot of other stuff, and then they get around to you, you put your order in, and then they're like, okay, they put that in, but they're going around doing a lot of stuff. So once your order is done, they may say, order's done, but that person is still cleaning tables or doing whatever, and they'll go over to get your stuff. 25 minutes have passed, right? That's a waste of time. For some people who have a 30-minute lunch, it's gone. For students who have a class, they get out of class at 10 o'clock. Their next class is at 10:30 or 11 o'clock. They don't have a lot of time to be able to live their life and say, you know what, hey, what were you doing the other day? And catching up with their friends and talking and meandering and all. They can't do that. They don't have that luxury. So they have to either bring their food in with them or go and get junk food. You know what I mean? Like, it's a health issue. So the greed of landlords is a problem. The old style of thinking is a problem. We need more diversity in spaces in terms of people of color, for one. We need more people who come from different parts of the country freshly, not, 40 years ago. But I'm talking about just freshly, the last 10 years. needs to be in places that can help make decisions, because that's the only way you're going to have some change. The fact that we're now going to possibly have shipping containers is a welcome surprise. It's welcome, because now you can find parking lots downtown that maybe can only seat about 20 cars or what have you. Those people that own those parking lots are like, I can't really do much with this. I mean, it's small. Trying to get a developer to really do anything with it, I don't really think that's going to be the case. Like, what can you do? When, it's some spaces downtown don't make sense for traditional building, but it does make sense for shipping containers. And you can easily pop something in. Sorry, I'm going to have to pause again. Hold on, guys. All right. You can easily pop something in that doesn't sound much better, does it? You can easily pop something in that will be done much faster. I mean, imagine this. You go into work downtown, you see a parking lot, you see a crane there, you see some, workers or whatnot. You go to work at 8 o'clock, okay? By noon, you take your lunch. You walk out, you see that lot, and all of a sudden you see a couple of shipping containers on trucks just waiting outside on the street. You're like, what the heck is going on? 5 o'clock, 5:30 rolls around, you're about to leave, and guess what? The shipping containers are already in place just that quick. They're already in place. The crane is gone because it's not needed any longer. And now the workers are able to get off of the street mostly and focus on this tiny area that they have to, do construction. If you go downtown now in Seattle or Tacoma, any sort of development, they have to take lanes up to, meander and dig and build and all of the stuff. Shipping containers, not so much. You pour a solid pad if you want to, or you can have it on small piers, concrete piers, whatever. So the containers are not directly on the ground because that could cause a rust issue. That's really it. It's not you can even put them on cinder blocks. I mean, that's kind of not the best idea, but you could. It's a fast process. And then you're able to move on about your day. You're able to put those in. And guess what? You're able to generate revenue for the city with things like this. You're able to put in, in these small, tiny lots that only have just so much space, you can easily put 3, levels of shipping containers for apartments or townhomes. Now you have people who have townhomes right in the middle of downtown. Of course, these could go throughout the whole city, of course. But I'm just talking about downtown right now. This is a really important thing. And so I think it's a great thing that we're finally pushing this through. I hope that it gets approved. I think it's going to be a great thing for Tacoma. Kudos to Christina Walker, who, is always, her intentions are always good. I know of her. Talked to her a few times. Her intentions seem to always be good. Good-hearted person. So it makes sense that this is something that she's wanting to push through because, again, when you think about it ecologically, this stuff gets dumped out into the middle of the ocean. We're right here on a port. We have one of the busiest ports in the Pacific Northwest. Why can't we make it happen? But anyhow, tell me what your thoughts are. I think it gives people who want to have a house that's a shipping container house, it gives them that right to have that without there being like 16 stacks of, a whole book of red tape. Big old book of, you can't do this because on this page here it says you can't do that. And this easement is a problem, but then you got to get a permit for this, but I can't approve it because this other department, and there's really no regulation on it. We got to check to see what zoning. It's like, it's enough already. Give people the freedom to make the choices they want to make. And as long as you have a contractor who is licensed, let it go. Let them do their thing. Now, I've had people say, Herschel, you should run for mayor. It's not something that I'm really that interested in. The only way I would ever consider running for mayor of Tacoma is if I am the true mayor, like what you have up in Seattle. Not kind of the mayor, where, you still have a city manager. Because some people don't understand that. The city manager of Tacoma runs the city, to be honest with you. right? So she's kind of the boss. Well, I don't want to be sharing a position. I've done that before, and it's not a good thing. If I'm going to be the mayor, I got to be the mayor, and that's up to our voters to say, look, we want a mayor system, not a manager, city manager system. It's a different topic for a different day. A lot of people have said, you know what, you should definitely do this. Well, I'm like, and I'm like, yeah, that's not really my interest. I don't think that I could do a lot on that end. I want to be able to do a lot on this end, right? I want to be able to make sure that there's things that we are able to do that make good logical sense. And it's not just, I can't sit and take credit for everything. There are people, regular citizens, average, everyday citizens, who have been asking for these same things that I'm doing now for years. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to the people. I don't listen to whoever else. The people make the decision. They're the ones they're the market. The taxpayer is the market, not somebody else who's hired to do something. They are the market. If we don't listen to the market, it's not going to work. So if citizens are saying, hey, we would desire this, we would like that, we want this, we want that, it's the job of the city to say, how do we make these things happen? Instead of saying, nah, I don't like it. I'm going to do my thing. Hold on, I got to sneeze. Sorry about that. But anyway, tell me what your thoughts are. I think it's a good positive first step. I think it'd be great. I think it solves a lot of different issues that we really need attention on. I think in this environment, it would be great. Shipping containers could handle earthquakes. They're designed for that heavy movement. It's the ocean. They're designed for high wind. They're designed for everything. It's a perfect solution. Now, are they the best thing ever? No. Are they perfect? No. Are there other issues you got to be concerned with? Yes. But in this market, it makes the most sense to actually go in this direction. So tell me what your thoughts are. Be sure to join the Discord down in the description box below. Sorry for all the nasally and pausing and all of that type of stuff. I can't help it. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and comment. And until next time, I will see you. Take care.